Sometimes I try to leave it at the door, but sometimes it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes we get very partisan at the board meetings, but I think if you had a wallflower there, they would get run over, and I'm not a wallflower.
Okay. What do you think are the biggest strengths we have in the Summit County Board of Elections? Why are we good?
I think the director's very good. I think the deputy director's good. I think that they do day-to-day operation very well in Summit County. We do have pretty good relationships with our employees. Employees work hard, and I think we get it. I think if you look around the state, I think we're the #1 board as far as getting people in and out of the vote center, getting absentees processed. We're just on top of it. We get it, and we work hard at it.
What role do you think you've played to make that happen in the last 6 years? Can you take credit for any of those things you just described?
Well, I was important in appointing Mary Jean Donofrio. I think that's part of it. And, you know, I'm not a hands-on guy day to day. I try not to interfere with the election process unless there are problems.
You think the board should be? I mean, should individual board members or as a group be doing what some people might consider micromanaging within the offices?
I'm not a micromanager. I'm really not. I think you put good people in there and you let them do their job. I say I give them the keys to the car, just don't wreck it. And Mary Jean's done an excellent job, and Brian's done a good job as deputy. I think that we had an excellent staff, and that's important.
And they're not wrecking that car.
They're not wrecking the car. The car is clean and driving very nicely.
But every car has a problem now and then. I mean, do we have any weaknesses, any gaps at the Summit County Board of Elections that we need to be concentrating on more?
If we did, I would be dealing with them immediately. I think we're up to speed as well as any board in the country.
Now, Wayne, I'll tell you, I'm surprised to hear you say that, only because that to me sounds like you're saying we're perfect, we're 100%.
Pretty close.
I mean, because most people don't want to go out on that limb.
I'm willing to go out on that limb. I think we're very good. I think that we make sure that every vote counts, and I think that people have comfort level with our board.
So this is going to be a good, fair election that nobody will have any reason to complain as far as you can see?
I think one of the reasons is we got a new Secretary of State named Jennifer Bruner. She's making sure that all her rulings are fair and impartial. And I think before, Mr. Blackwell was very partisan and very, he was trying to figure out how people couldn't vote instead of figuring out how they could. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes a huge difference.
Well, you brought up Jennifer Bruner. I mean, there have been allegations that you and Jennifer Bruner were kind of single-handedly deciding some things that maybe should have been left in Columbus to decide. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I consider Jennifer Bruner my friend, and we consult on a regular basis, but the reality is that she's still her own person, and I think she respects me, and I have great respect for her.
You think that or anything else will be changing that's significant to voters in the next, few years, 5 to 10 years? How will that be different?
My guess is at some point we're going to go to an all-mail ballot. I mean, that we'll mail them in we're going to have this. So far we have close to 40,000 absentees in Summit County. If you think about that in relationship to 04, we had 31,000 total. So we're going to be close to 70,000 mail-in absentees and probably 30,000 people voting at the job center. Mm-hmm. If you look at that, then over a third of the vote's going to come in before November 4th. My view is that you can do that by mail, and everybody does it by mail. Oregon does it by mail. Why couldn't you do the entire election by mail? We could save a lot of money and pay the postage both ways and save a ton of money. Well, I just want them to be comfortable that they know their vote's going to count in this county. I mean, we are very, very adamant about making sure everybody's vote counts.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that over the last couple of years, I am going to bring up something that I hadn't really thought about much. Over the last couple of years, the board of elections was in the headlines, maybe not always for the most positive reasons. Conflicts on the board and that sort of thing. Is that over now? Are we okay? Can this board work together?
Well, I think time will tell. I mean, Tim Gorbach's a great member, and I think I've been a good member, and we'll see about Mr. Morrison and Mr. Daly. I mean, the jury's still out on them. I think that they have the potential to be good members, whether they are or not.
What does that mean, to be a good member? What does somebody have to do, regardless of party?
They have to put their partisan hat aside and deal with the issues and try to make access to voting. I mean, just a good example is the hours of the vote center. Why would somebody be against the hours of the vote center? They said it was because of money. Well, they spend money like drunken sailors other days, and then they worry about an extra 30,000 so we can keep the boat center more accessible to people. Those kinds of things bother me, but we ended up winning that one. So.
Mm-hmm. Spending money like drunken sailors. You have an example of that? Is that?
Well, drunken sailors on leave. You know what happens.
So what? These guys are taking counted money and going out drinking? Is
No.
I didn't think so.
No, what I'm saying is they'll blow money on security cameras, for example, which when I first came to the board, we didn't have any security cameras. Now we got 28 security cameras, and we got to be able to watch it for 30 days, and that's just a lot of money you're wasting, in my view. We have people that took an oath. If you don't follow that oath, then we get rid of them. But I mean, to have cameras everywhere, I think it's a little bit like Gestapo tactics. But they'll spend money on stuff like that.
And those cameras are for what exactly? We talk about security. Are we watching to keep an eye on the people who work there, keep an eye on the people walking in the door, or both?
Mostly people that work there, which is amazing. I mean, you think about it, we got one Democrat and one Republican in every job. So they're watching each other. And to have cameras on top of that, I think is a bit much, personally. But they spend the money like that and they don't think twice about it. But when it comes to having access to voting, they're less than nice about it, I guess.
Sounds like you give the Board of Elections an A overall, though.
Oh, an A+. I do. I mean, I know how hard they work day in and day out, and it's we go for this. We play hard and then we work hard when we get close to an election.